Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome back to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. So today I want to cover an updated version of my Blaze Healcopter strategy. Obviously now that we have a new rally point, a lot more troop space, and of course the upgraded troops, there's definitely a couple variations that I tested out with this. This is by far my favorite attack right now for a lot of different reasons. I'll go through that when we get into the video. A big disclaimer, we are bullying bases. You know, these are not max level HQ9s versus max level troops. So of course it's going to be very easy to get the 3-star with the leveled up army, but I just wanted to show you guys what was possible with this and why it's still my go-to strategy. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
I want to play.
Okay, so now that we're in game, I just want to go over something here quickly. You definitely do not need to upgrade all the troops for this army. The only two that are really important to make this work consistently in that kind of bullying state is your blazes and your helicopters. So, I get the attraction to air is like, well, I just have to level my whales and my skyfires and then my air's ready. But you can literally get, and this is the most important part to me, in the time it takes to train 2 air armies, I get a full 3 armies of Blaze Healcopter. So I'm attacking more frequently, I'm gaining trophies quicker, and I'm gaining more loot. It costs less sapphire, and it trains faster. So there's just too much stacking in favor of the Blaze Healcopter for that reason in comparison to air, that's why it's still my go-to strategy. I love air. Air is probably my favorite attack, but because of all the reasons that I just mentioned, that's why I'm really leaning on Blaze Healcopter. Especially if a capsule and sapphire are on the table for you, because you're going to be able to get through more attacks. Now, once we have max level bases, I'll definitely do an updated version of this strategy because there will be more nuances to where to deploy and when, where the entry point should be, and saving helicopters and rangers and phages for the back end of the base. Right now, you don't need to do any of that. So I just want to show you guys some attacks. So it's just 3-star city, so I'm just going to show you my most recent. These aren't my favorites that I picked out just to kind of give you a sense, but let's do the troop comp first so I can kind of show you how I'm doing this. So right now, and I'm getting the little bit of extra 1 troop from the rally points. I think I've only got 2 rally points left, but I'm just adding an additional ranger every time I get that 1 extra space. So I'm really locked in on the 4 brutes because they push ahead and they trigger bombs for me, which is really good. I'm like using 40 blazes, nice clean round number, 50 helicopters, same thing, nice clean number. The 6 boom carts because you only need 2 to open a wall. So especially when you get the boom carts leveled up, it's only going to take 2 to destroy a level 9 wall. So this effectively allows me to make 3 entries. I did up the phages to 12 instead of 6, especially because of the update to them recently. But what I've actually found is I like deploying them all in the beginning with my army, and you guys are going to see this in a minute, because they'll move ahead in the base of my army and actually trigger bombs for me. So they'll clear off quite often the center of the base because they just run through and trigger all the bombs, which has been quite nice. I usually used to like saving some on the back end to try to speed up the attack because time was a concern, but that doesn't matter anymore. Now, same with the rangers. I used to save some of the rangers when I had a few just for the back end of the base, or I would use the 4 that I had before just to clear a little bit of trash around the entries so that I could funnel my heroes. Same thing now though, I'm just deploying them all in the beginning. It's helping the funnel with the heroes so I can always push the heroes into the center of the base. So this is effectively the layout, and I'll probably end up with 1 or 2 more troop space once those last 2 rally points are done. And like I said, I'm just adding additional rangers. So let me show you a couple of these attacks. And I do use the heroes with this attack. You actually don't need to if you've got the blazes and the helicopters leveled up. You can still be pretty consistent with your attack regardless, but I just like pushing with the heroes. And the sapphire is so cheap training this army, I find it really reasonable to fast train. So look what I'm doing here. I just want to highlight this. Because we're bullying right now, because these bases are not leveled up, you can enjoy spamming, right? I don't have to be super particular where I'm making my entries. I don't have to be super particular about where I'm deploying my troops. But generally what I'm doing is just two sides of the base. I'll usually let the brutes go first. Then I'll let the boom carts go in, then the blazes, then I follow up with the helicopters, and then the rangers. And you can kind of see what I'm doing now with the rangers and the phages. So I just let everything go in. And because the blazes have more hit points right now, they're able to survive the old double bomb that used to be the end of, the world for them. However, one thing that does matter now is the immobilize that you get from motors. So if you've got a couple motors smacking on a pack of blazes, they can seem to get stuck for a little while. So I'm sure this attack is going to be more challenging as we see bases get more leveled up, particularly motors and traps. I would say those are probably the two biggest things that impact this army comp. But right now we see everyone upgrading their rocket towers and their anti-air. And another important thing to mention about the helicopters, and I mean, the Inferno skin just looks freaking amazing on the helicopters. They're black now once you level them up. But once you do level them up, they can actually now take 3 hits from the anti-air from a level 8 HQ air. That difference of needing an extra shot just keeps my helicopters alive the entire time. I don't have to worry about slow deploying like I did before or saving some for the back end. I can basically just drop my entire army, let them walk through the base. But as I've said before, this is only possible because we're bullying bases, right? I spent some Sapphire, I fast trained my upgrades so that I could take advantage of this, but I would definitely prioritize just the blaze, just the helicopter. That's all you need to really make this strategy work. And you guys can see we just walked through that whole base. So I'll show you 2 more. It's pretty similar in that approach. Someone asked me too, like, oh, doesn't it feel weird you're not using a lot of strategy right now? And I was like, well, I know that's not going to be the case for a while. And when I'm farming, I don't care about that so much. I just want to be efficient with my farming. I want to get in there, get the 3 stars, get my ruby, get the loot, move on. So I'm just enjoying it while we're in this situation because I know it won't last. And actually this base had, you can see some upgraded rocket towers and some anti-air. So I kind of wanted to show you guys this one too, because this is kind of the state of what a lot of bases are currently sitting at now. It's like 1 or 2 rocket towers upgraded, 1 or 2 anti-air. And you can kind of see here, he actually has his 3rd rocket tower being upgraded, but not much changed. I see I just deployed everything along the 2 sides. I'm basically letting my troops and heroes walk through the base at this point. It's just making farming really smooth, but don't get the wrong idea. This is going to be hard later once all the structures are upgraded. But this just feels so easy right now, guys. Take advantage of it while you can. I wouldn't say that the attack is overpowered or unbalanced because of all the points I mentioned before. We're bullying. We're using HQ9 troops versus, and you can see I have everything upgraded. I upgraded the brutes, I upgraded the blazes, the boom carts, the rangers, the phages, and the helicopters. Like, I'm done. The only thing my army is missing from being a full maxed HQ9 army is the fact that I don't have level 45 heroes yet. That's it. So I'm sure once bases get maxed and I get some more levels on my heroes, that's going to help balance things out. And then we're really going to have to see how the balancing feels with the attacks. I'll show you one more. Let's just go down here. And let's make a little bit more emphasis on my entry in the beginning, and I'll just kind of show you guys, because I talked about the order of deployment, but I know I'm showing it kind of quick here. So you can see here, I'm going to start with the brutes, 2 sides of the base, then I follow up with the boom carts. I'm making 3 holes, follow with all the blazes after that, all the helicopters, all the rangers, all the phages. Now you can save a couple phages, a couple rangers for the back end if you really want to, but like I said, I actually like that the phages will quite often move through the base and help trigger bombs, and then I just let it play out. So I'm taking advantage of this while I can. A lot of you guys who are using air are probably noticing a similar thing. Your leveled up air troops are just smashing bases right now, but I find that extra troop space will really help balance this attack a little bit more, in the sense that now I can have more phages, I can have more rangers to help support clearing the trash, funneling my heroes. Look, my heroes went right into the core. That's exactly what I wanted them to do, right? I wanted them to go right into the core after the headquarters. Having those extra rangers is just clearing the trash, allowing the heroes to get in there, just making for a much cleaner attack. So I am absolutely loving this right now. And like I said, faster to train, it's cheaper to train, and you get 3 of these armies in the time that it would take to make 2 air armies. Now, if you've already upgraded your whales or skyfires, that's great. You can continue to use that, but I would highly recommend at least taking a look at this strategy or experimenting with it, because you'll notice it's just way faster. You can get more attacks in, you can get your limit hit quicker, and those are the main reasons why I'm still leaning in on this. And it's a lot of fun. It feels like kind of a nuanced attack. Not a ton of people are doing it still. I mostly see ground armies and air attacks. Actually, let's just bring up my defense log here. You know, we're seeing like phages and skyfires for loot. We're seeing like your traditional ground attack right here. You know, that's kind of the old school one. Couple helicopters in there. We're seeing more brutes, blazes. This is kind of like the traditional attack, I guess you could say, what some people do. Markswoman's a little there. We've got air attack we're seeing a lot of right now. You know, but we're not seeing a ton of Blaze Helicopter. Actually, this guy did the Blaze Helicopter. Good on him. Except he used Thyras. I wonder why he was using Thyras. Interesting. So we're seeing kind of a mix. I mean, like this one's interesting. Blaze, Brute, Skyfire. But these people are bullying me too, right? I'm not fully upgraded. So it's a little bit easier for them. And you can see they're upgrading the troops that matter most to their army comp. You know, like this guy got a 3-star army. He only upgraded his whales. You know, this one, he only upgraded his whales weren't even upgraded. They were level 5. But this was a few days ago. Okay. So I'm not seeing a ton of Blaze Helicopter attack strategies, and I just think a lot of people are sleeping on this because, in my opinion, it is the best strategy for farming your limits and getting loot quicker when you're trying to do it at the same time. So when I'm doing my limits, I'm simultaneously farming loot, and because this attack is so cheap, especially with the Sapphire, it just makes it a lot better for me. So I'm going to do another video on air so I can kind of compare it and kind of show you guys the differences and how that feels and some of the benefits and maybe pros and cons versus this one. And then of course we'll do a regular ground attack comp, kind of show you guys that down the road too. But I just want to say thanks so much for being subscribed to the channel. It really makes a big difference. Do me a favor and smash that like button. So as always, we can get this content out to more people, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.